Hey, have you ever tried Purple M&Ms? Hey, if you're a champion, maybe you have. I'm Coach Tina in the Empowering Champions community. I'm holding a phone with one hand, so I can't do my "it's going to be a great day" pose, but I definitely wanted to say hi. We're just coming home. Some of you know my husband, Chris. We just went to his first doctor's appointment after our craziness from earlier in June, and it's been a month, and he has a clean bill of health, and the doctors just think he's a miracle, just like we do. But that's not the subject of my live today. Today I'm going to be talking to you about M&Ms. And yes, purple M&Ms. Wouldn't that be awesome if there were purple M&Ms? I'm just saying that if the Mars company had asked me, I would tell them that a purple M&M is highly needed. And if they asked what flavor that was going to be, I would totally tell them passion fruit would be my first guess. I think that would be amazing and probably very globally accepted, if you know what I mean. Because why am I even talking about M&Ms? Well, the series is Midlife Magnificent, and I'm going to get out of the car here and go sit on my porch. Hold on just a moment. Tell me if you're watching live, by the way, while we do this, and then I will respond if you're watching live, or if you're watching on the replay, I will reach out to you later as well. But what I wanted to do was talk about Midlife Magnificent. What in the heck am I talking about? Well, some of you know I celebrated my 60th birthday. Hi, Iona. And I'm considering that midlife. I follow Tony Robbins, and he wrote a book a couple years ago called Life Force. And one of the things they said in there is that we are going to be able to live into 120 at least in the future. And so Peter Diamandis says, don't do anything stupid for the next couple of years, and you might be able to live to be that age as well. So wouldn't that be awesome? And so I'm considering this midlife. You know, some people like to think midlife is a crisis. Maybe you make it to 35 and you say, oh no, I'm at midlife and I'm going to be 70 when I die. Maybe it's 40 and then you think that it's 80. Nope, 60 is the new 40, okay? You got me? And Tony Robbins likes to say that you can collapse decades into days. So maybe what's going to happen is I'm going to live 60 years worth of life in whatever time I have left, and I'm okay with that, right? I want to get all the juice out, because the reality is mid is just a level, right? Like some people will say, how are you doing? Well, I'm good, I'm fine. Those are like baseline level words. The reality is when someone tells you that they're fine, they're probably down here a little bit more, and they just don't have either the vocabulary to express it or the emotional awareness that says, fine is not how I want to live my life. I mean, fine is okay, but don't you want to be great? Or even higher than that? Don't you want to be outstanding? Don't you want to live a life that like fills you so full of joy that every moment you are just thrilled to be in it? And I'm not saying that it's easy. I had some stinking thinking going on in my mind this morning, real strong limiting beliefs. And I had to be like, okay, hold on. That's not who I am. I am a woman who shows up for the last 5 years on Monday mornings at 11. It used to be 7. I give you guys some time off to be able to watch. And it's okay. It's okay to like figure it out as you're going through it. And that's why when my VA, so I have a beautiful young lady who works for me in the Philippines, and she has been doing my posts. Of course, I've been off doing things, right? And she's been so good at trying to figure out what is Tina doing. And so she asked me what I wanted to do this week, if I had any ideas for the graphic. And I knew my topic was Midlife Magnificent. And just like that, I was like, let's make it me hugging a purple M&M. Well, then, you know how the brain works, right? I'm like, do they even make purple M&Ms? So I went out and I looked. They do not make purple M&Ms. Like, what is wrong with the world? I totally think we need purple M&Ms. So if you're voting purple M&Ms, put it in the comments for me. I don't even care if it's passion fruit. It could be anything. But the M&Ms are a great metaphor for like the sweetness of life, right? The candy, the good stuff, the stuff we want that candy when we go to the movies, right? We want our treat. And it's a novelty. I loved it when they first came out with the M&Ms with personalized words, and you could get them for weddings and so on. I thought that was a great use. But the reality is, our mind is our greatest asset. And nobody else thinks exactly like we do, right? So I know AI is having its day, right? AI is coming in. It's going to change our world. It's going to make everything better. And I use AI. I'm amazed by it as well. But here's the thing. The other day, you guys know about Chris's health crisis. So one of the things that we feel created the miracle was all the people that were praying for us. We had so many people saying that they were praying, which was fantastic. But there was one instance that really stood out to me, and it was a gentleman who texted on Chris's phone, and I was monitoring his phone as well, and I saw this text come in, and it was this beautiful prayer that was so powerful. When I read it, I just felt convicted. And so Chris was still, I had just gotten there, he was still under, and actually it was the next morning. I had spent the whole night with him after that first day, and I read this prayer out loud to him. And after reading that prayer is when the doctors came in and said they were going to extubate him and take this sedation off, and we were going to see how he was doing. And here's the thing. I realized that as beautiful as it is when you know people are praying for you, when you know what they are praying, it makes it even more powerful. It's not just enough to say, I'm praying for you, but putting the substance behind it made it that much more powerful. So what Chris and I talked about was, from now on, I'm not just going to say, I'm praying for you. I want to say a prayer. And so it felt kind of awkward. I'm one of those people that in prayer groups, I'm a baby Christian, as crazy as that is. Over 30 years ago is when I first came to understand God in a relationship type way. And it still doesn't feel normal to pray in front of people. I know the conversations I have with him, but saying it out loud, that's a little bit more like hold it in, like what will people think? So I have a limiting belief that says I don't pray as eloquently as other people do. And so when I went to answer this comment, I saw this person wanted prayer, and instead of just saying praying or giving the little blessed hands, I thought I got to write a prayer out. And so I wrote the prayer out. But then I got a little self-conscious, and I was like, oh, this isn't as good as I would like it to be. And so I put it in my ChatGPT, and I said, what would you say differently? Now, interestingly, it said, oh, here's a better way to say this. And one of the things it recommended was, I was saying that one day, this couple is trying to have a baby. One day, I wanted them to be thinking about holding that baby and treasuring those moments in the future. And AI said that could be misconstrued because I can't with authority say that they're going to have a baby. And it's true if you're not understanding what prayer is or does. Right? Of course, an AI would want me to follow rules when God doesn't have rules. God creates miracles. God does things that are so outside of our band of understanding, our limits of understanding. And See, here's the thing that really struck me. There were people when Chris was not doing well that said to me, he's going to be fine. And I remember being almost offended because, I don't know, did I want to believe that there was something wrong? I just didn't want to believe that they knew. I don't know. I need to examine that thought process more. But there was some part of me that was so afraid I couldn't believe that they could have that authority to say that he was going to be okay. Now, I don't think they meant it maliciously, but who do I remember talking to me during that time period? The people that stuck were the people that said to me words of affirmation in a positive way that made me believe Chris was going to be okay. And when he was okay, I got to sigh that relief and take that belief into me that, oh my gosh, they were right. And I don't know how else to express it than that. And I appreciate you watching. If you have words to put that into place for me, I would love it, because I'm grappling, right? I'm learning, I'm growing in my own every day. I mean, that's what life is like, right? That's why you take it and you live it to the full. So that said, I'm going to end this video letting you guys know that tomorrow Chris and I are going to San Diego. We have not had a vacation since he came. I've had vacations, but since he came home from Africa, and we got back from Africa, and he had an illness with Campylobacteria, and it was really severe. And then pretty much right after that, he went into flight school. And so he's been preoccupied, let's say. And so now that flight school is in emergency status for now, he's on an emergency leave, we can go do some things that we haven't been able to do for a while. So we are going to San Diego. We're going to see some friends. We're going to see some family. We are going to touch the ocean, swim, catch a few waves, get some sun, enjoy every minute. We're going to ride horses, and we are going to attend a fundraiser for the Maurici Foundation. Some of you know that I was in Cambodia when I got the news about Chris's health. Long ways away, huge flight, worrying about him. But it feels like the end of the trip, because I had to cut it short, right? Well, several of the people that were on that trip are going to be in San Diego with the organization we were with in Cambodia. And it's for the Maurici Foundation. They are finding solutions for survivors of sex trafficking. So young teen girls that have lived through a lot of things that most of us never ever even imagined were out there in the world. And I got to meet those girls. They're bringing a survivor to San Diego. When I met them, the most positive, uplifting experience. Those girls were so full of hope, so full of belief in their future, and so loving and kind. I can't explain it in the way I want to, but I am going to say that the entire experience, and knowing that I get to put a bow on it this week, is pretty wild. It's pretty wild. So I know that the message I want to put out to you guys at this point is live fully and in the most magnificent way possible. I want that for you because I want it for me as well. And if I can do it, you can do it. And if I see you doing it, I know I can do it. So let's support each other. Let's encourage each other. Let's grow together and get our greatness out into the world. Love you so much, and I look forward to talking to you real soon.